Welcome to Moms of the Lou podcast, hosted by and recorded for St. Louis moms. Grab your laundry basket, kick your feet up for nap time, or head out the door for pickup and spend a little time catching up with your favorite St. Louis moms. Hosted by a fellow St. Louis mom, Rebecca Coast, let's dive into our discussion today. All right, St. Louis moms, we are back for another episode of Moms of the Lou. We are well into winter, so today we are going to be talking about beating the winter blues here in St. Louis, seasonal depression as a mom, all the things. So we are back with our lovely, fearless social media manager, Lauren Cappell. How you doing?
Good. I'm happy to be back. Thanks for having me.
Happy to be back. Well, I know we've talked endlessly about winter, battling winter as a mom. So I figured, we are well into February. We're well into winter. I figured this would be a good time to talk about how we beat the winter blues locally, what we do to survive, because this time of year as a mom can be really hard.
Yeah. And it comes every year.
Every year.
Yeah. It comes every year if we're lucky, you know? And I think it's a lot of a mind shift that you just have to prepare yourself for it and be ready with your little bag of tricks.
Yep.
And just keep on going and realizing that it doesn't last forever and it happens to a lot of people.
Yep.
And it's normal.
Yep. So I'm from St. Louis and I'm used to cold and snow and ice, although I feel like that's obviously changed a lot over the years, right? We have less, in some ways, it feels like we have less snow and every year is different, right? But I'm used to it. I grew up having snow days and things like that, but you didn't. You're from California. So
Right.
what was that like to come to St. Louis with?
I think it was really exciting to have weather
Mhm.
and to have changing of seasons. And so I think it was really exciting at first. And when I first moved here, it was, my gosh, probably about 13 years ago. I was newly engaged and I was a teacher and snow days were exciting.
Yes. Yeah.
I got a day off. It was cozy inside. And yeah, just a lot of new excitement and adventure and activity comes with the change of weather.
Yeah.
And I really embrace it. And I think that is true for me still today, that I do love the change of season. And, but of course, I have seasonal depression in the winter, but I also have year-round depression, so
Sure.
that I'm treated for.
Yep.
And so I'm very, very aware of that. And so, yeah, it was a little bit of an adjustment to the cold, to the dark, to the shorter days, to the snow, to the lack of kind of social interaction.
Yes.
When I moved here. And so that has taken me some time to adjust to. But
yeah, I was just talking with my husband about this because we both struggle to varying degrees in the winter, right? With some sort of seasonal depression. And I was like, what do you think it is? Is it the lack of light for you or is it the lack of warmth? And for him, it's the lack of warmth. He loves hot. Like that hot, humid St. Louis summer. That's like his favorite. And I don't struggle so much with the cold as I do with the light, and that the days are shorter and that it just feels like there's just more darkness in the winter. Like you wake up, it's dark. Darkness hits early and you just kind of feel like you're just kind of in this cycle, right?
Yep.
Of darkness.
Right.
And so what do you think it is for you? Do you think it's a combination or one or the other?
I'm not so much bothered by the cold. I do think it has a lot to do with light. And waking up in the dark and then bringing your kids home from school and they have about an hour of light before they have to come inside and it's dinner time and all the things. But for me, I think it's the social interaction. So I live in a neighborhood where everybody is out and about in the summertime. The kids are outside playing. There's always kids on bikes and scooters and the parents come outside and see each other and say hello. And I think about winter all the time. It's every year, it's quiet
Yeah.
and no one is out.
Yes.
And that to me is hard.
Yeah. That's isolating.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. What have you found? Well, okay. How does your seasonal depression manifest itself? Like, what does that look like for you? What does that like? What does your do you know what I'm asking? Like, what kind of things do you see in your life, or like, how does it manifest itself?
I think it's low motivation.
Yes.
Um, it's more like it's a hard to describe.
Yeah.
I think it is mostly a lack of motivation, a lack of excitement.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's like a tired, heavy feeling.
Yeah.
I guess if I could describe it.
Does it impact like your appetite or your ability to sleep?
I don't think it does. I think it
Okay.
really impacts my mood
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
But it also could be because I work really hard to um, to make it better.
Yeah.
And so, um,
Yeah. I know for me, I struggled with that so much this year because I feel like we hit January. It's like it's a new year, it's a new beginning,
yes,
right? New goals.
yes,
We got stuff we're going to do this year, like chop, chop.
right,
And this year we had this massive snow. We had just come off of 2 weeks of winter break.
right.
My kids are all of a sudden now home for a week. And I'm like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I
I
just
can't
wanna
do anything.
I cannot do
think.
anything. I wanna curl up in my bed, and I wanna go back to sleep for my
Yes.
long winter nap, you know?
Yes. I think there's so much pressure in the new year
Yes.
to become this like whole other person.
Mhm.
And for some of us, this is not the time.
Yeah. Right.
This is
No.
not the time.
No. We become our new person in, let's say, May, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's make that the new year.
Yeah.
May.
And it's like, what if we embraced the slow
Mhm.
or the cozy or
Yeah.
embrace the season?
Mhm.
And that's kind of like what I've tried to really do this year is like tap into like my grandma self, like
Yeah.
wear the cozy clothes, which I do more often than I all year long, all year round.
Soft. All
Yeah.
the soft things.
But like slowing down and
Yeah.
cooking soup
Yes.
and doing crosswords
Mhm.
and just like really leaning into the season.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of helped me
Yeah.
is just like slow down.
Yes.
And so a lot of us are on Instagram,
Mhm.
of course. Of course I am all the time. And we're constantly given the message that we need to be decluttering our house
Yeah.
or finding these new fitness goals.
Yeah.
And it's like, this feels like a time to just be.
Be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe it's okay.
Yeah. I think that's so important. And I noticed that too this year. I saw more messaging of that. And I think sometimes like when we're pushing up against things, that's like taking more of our energy,
Mhm.
right? To say, yeah, you know what? I should be at the gym more. I should be like really like clean eating and I should be, yeah, I need to like totally declutter that room and prepare all those bags for charity. And it's like, wow, maybe we're heaping it on ourselves, maybe
Yeah.
it's harder, in
Yes.
that way. So,
We have a lot of noise.
Mhm.
There's a lot coming at us.
yeah.
I think especially women were targeted with these things. Like
Mhm.
I don't see my husband feeling the pressure to
No.
become this whole new
Mhm.
person.
Right.
Um yeah. I also think there is something to be said for and I have to do this for myself is like stay active in the winter.
Mhm.
I need to eat healthy foods,
Yeah.
drink more water. I
Yeah.
know like those are the things for my body. Like I feel better
Mhm.
physically and ultimately what I'm looking for is it to help me mentally.
Yes.
And so fueling my body with like healthy things, but also
Yes.
fueling my mind with positive things. I think it's
Yes.
just like it's hard to do that when you're constantly bombarded with things you're being, on social media. So I think
Yeah.
it's okay to limit, your access to that and really just like dig deep into like what makes you feel good.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you're our social media manager, but I don't know if you've noticed this, but we always have a pretty big purge of followers in the month of January,
Mhm.
people who
Yeah.
unfollow. And I always kind of like to see that though, because I mean,
You're happy for them.
I'm happy for them because I feel like it's important to take stock of like what you're consuming.
Mhm.
And if it's not like, if it's just one more voice and it's not helping,
Yeah.
then I think it's important to like declutter it, and that it looks different for everybody.
Right.
Um, and I know you and I, like, we have kids now, we have a couple kids in school. But like, what was helpful to you in these months when your kids were home, like all the time? Because I think that's one of the things in the wintertime that's like, man, it feels like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Every day is the same. It's like, what are we going to do today?
Yes.
It's cold, it's icy, we're home, or we're limited. What are we going to do?
Good question.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I did it. I think I did it well for a few days.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where, you just you can't do it all and you can't do it well.
Mm-hmm.
And, everyone reaches the breaking point.
Yeah.
And, what I relied on very much was the neighbors.
Yeah.
Like, how can we help each other?
Yeah.
Reach out, accept the help. If the kids want to go over there for lunch,
Mm-hmm.
just accept it.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And get outside.
Yeah. Get outside, even if it's for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Even if it's for a few minutes. I remember you once telling me the power of a shower.
Yes.
Yes. And I mean, even that ask myself, okay, did you take a shower today? Like, just get in the shower. Go take a shower. You don't have to wash your hair or, just go.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I do think water plays an important part in everyone. Your kids are crabby, throw them in the tub.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're crabby,
totally
go take a shower.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it makes a big impact.
Yeah. Yep. What about like outings with your kids in the winter? Or are there places that you liked to take them?
Now they're older
Mm-hmm.
and older to me. They're, they're in elementary school. They're not that old.
Yeah.
But, we've kind of had to think about different things that we can do. And this year, kind of my husband and I were talking about, like, we've never been bowling as a family. Like, let's go try that
bowling
together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one or, they've been for birthday parties or things like that. Or ice skating, indoor ice skating,
Yes.
outdoor ice skating. So just taking advantage of the season and, trying something new. St. Louis has a lot. I mean,
yeah.
But I also, like, it doesn't have to be fancy. I remember
No.
taking I think it was my youngest. We would go and walk around Plaza Frontenac and we would just ride the escalators up and down.
Yep.
And I would go get a coffee at, is it Bissinger's? Is that what's there?
I think so.
And then let her pick out like a little truffle.
Yeah.
And then we would call them like secret passageways, the little stairways and everything. And like, it doesn't have to be fancy.
No, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't.
But for me, it was getting out of the house. And that it was a win for both of us.
Yeah, even if it's just a little bit,
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Did you pick your bowling alley yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know.
We've been to Tropicana in Clayton, and that was great.
I haven't been to that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice. Very clean. Doesn't smell bad. Very nice. And they have bumpers. They have
for the kids.
Yes, and they have
or for me.
Yeah, and they had good sized shoes.
Okay.
Like my 3-year-old, they had shoes to fit him.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So, and then they had the thing that you put at the end of the lane that you put the ball down. I don't know what you call that.
Yeah. That makes it more fun.
It makes it more fun. It was helpful
for everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone has some success.
But yeah, shout out to Tropicana because I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Loved that.
I'm going to add it to my list.
Yeah. What about your ice rink? Any?
My neighbor just took my girls to the Kirkwood indoor ice rink and they had so much fun.
Oh.
And she asked if she could take them.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, please. And
Take
of
that.
course, I was like, should I go? Should I
Mm.
enjoy this experience
Mhm.
with them?
Mhm.
And then I thought, no, let's just enjoy it. Like, they can have fun without you.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Yes, they can have fun without you.
Mhm.
Man, I think that's so important. I also have a wonderful neighbor who offered to like take my kids sledding up to the
Yes.
park. And same thing. I was like, should I go? And, have a baby at home. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to accept this.
Yeah.
And then look for an opportunity to like pay it forward,
Yes.
next time.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, I had taken her daughter to go see Wicked, which was very easy to do. That was an
not
easy
quite
win.
the same.
And
Not
it was
quite the
like
same.
at least 4 hours because that's a long movie.
Mhm.
And so she's like, well, let me go take them to do this. So it was just, yeah.
Love
you can
that.
find friends
Build your tribe.
that love your kids just as much
Yeah.
as you love your kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep them.
Yes. And I feel like we were talking about this the other day too, about how like there's guilt that can sprout out of this. Like, if you're not feeling like your best self in motherhood, you feel like you're not able to show up every day and bring your best self because you yourself are just like trying to survive,
Right.
that it's okay. It's okay if it's not the best version of you today,
Yeah.
and tomorrow it'll be different, and the day after.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Like lately, I've been thinking, like, some days I just have all the energy in the world.
Mhm.
I'm so productive,
Yeah.
get all the things done on my list. And then all of a sudden, like the next day it just hits me. I feel, and maybe that's maybe the symptom of my seasonal depression is
Yeah.
just like some days I just can't.
Yeah.
And all I want to do is crawl into bed
Mhm.
and I just don't have the motivation. I don't have the excitement, the energy to do these things. And
Mhm.
it's like tomorrow it's possible that it could be very different.
Yeah.
And so just remembering that not every day is going to be a high
Yeah.
and not every day is going to be a low,
Right.
and that it's okay just to have an okay day,
Absolutely.
and just, realize that it can change.
Yeah. Something else we've done is my kids like they love to just do fun creative little things at the house. And so
Mhm.
they'll like make notes for the postman or the
Aw.
delivery man,
Yeah.
and they'll like stick them through the mail slot. Or we went through like a baking, um
A baking phase.
and we baked like just a bunch of cookies. And I was like, okay, go like run them over to the neighbor's house,
Yes.
And so like even just small ways like that to get your kids like bought into doing something for somebody else too,
huge
I think
impact.
is huge.
Yes. And that is something, it's another tip I have
Yeah.
for making, winter bearable is like thinking outside of yourself and, like the mailman
Mhm.
giving the notes or
Yeah.
running cookies over that, like, that's now 2 activities.
Yeah.
So the baking itself
Totally,
and then
yes.
the delivering
Yep.
and then making somebody else's day.
Yeah.
And, I think there's a lot to be said for thinking outside of
Yes.
yourself during these cold winter months and check on people.
Yeah, definitely.
It does make an impact and it does feel good to care for others.
Absolutely. And check on those who might be suffering during all kinds of seasons,
Yes.
right? Not just winter. Those
Yes.
are who are in hard seasons, and my kids and I talk about that too. I'm like, who could we help today that we know is in a hard.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be this big extravagant
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
But I love that. I'm gonna do that. We
Yeah.
love our mailman.
Yeah. Oh, we do too.
Great idea.
Okay. Any other hacks for beaten winter? Do you like to use a light? Do you like to get a spray tan? Do you like to plan a vacation? Do you like to get your eyebrows done?
All
What
of
do you
those
do?
things. I love all of those things.
Yeah.
I think the one that especially comes to mind is just have something on the calendar.
Yeah.
To look forward to.
Mhm.
My mom bought my husband blues tickets for Christmas.
Oh, fun.
And so I'm really looking forward to doing that. We've never been to we've been to one game before.
Okay.
But
you
yeah,
taking the
I'm looking
kids or
forward
date
to
night?
that. It'll be date night.
Fun.
Yeah.
Love that.
So just something on the calendar.
Mhm.
But yeah, light. I have heard, my It's actually my psychiatrist who
Mhm.
told me this.
Yeah.
That, keep the lights on as much as you can.
Mhm.
And as much as I love cozy lighting and like overhead lighting just
Mhm.
drives me insane, I try to keep them on as much as I can. She
Okay.
says it makes a big difference.
The overhead lights.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
But I don't like those overhead.
I know.
I'm a lamp girl. Oh. Okay.
I know. It's tricky. But they also have those, what are those lamps called? They're like happy lamps.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Mhm.
You were talking about vitamins too. What do you do for vitamins?
Vitamin D.
Vitamin
Yep.
D. Mhm.
I take that. I have a prescription for that.
Okay.
And I also take, super open about it, I take my anxiety and depression medication, but I
Yeah.
take that year round.
Yep.
And just constantly talking to my doctor about how it's going and
Yeah.
checking in and
Yep.
also like this is such a great time of year. I feel like I've made so many doctor's appointments in the
Yeah.
last few weeks.
Mhm.
I scheduled my first mammogram.
Yay.
And yes, it's so exciting. And just like routine blood work, and
Mhm.
just like this might be the time of year
Checking
to
in.
just go
Yeah.
do all of your appointments.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's important.
Just a good time to do it.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
trying to think of what else. I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, we know the sun will return, spring will return, and for now we just hunker down. We do our best.
Yes.
And I think we talk to a friend. I'm like, okay, have I talked to somebody today? Have I talked
Yes.
to a grown up today?
Right.
Who can I text or who can I send a message to
It's
or,
true.
call or yeah.
I have a friend who sends snail mail,
Aw,
and she just sends cards, and it's just so delightful to
I love
receive
that.
them. And I just hope she knows like how much joy it brings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just like a simple reminder that it doesn't have to be something huge,
Yeah.
to make a difference. So if it
Yes.
made a difference to you, you know that it would make a difference to somebody else.
Yes. Yep. And
Your
stay
postman letters.
check in with St. Louis Mom. We're always hosting events for moms, for kids.
Yep.
Make sure you sign up and come, check in with some other people who are in the same boat as you. And
Because we want to meet you too.
we want to meet you too, or send us a DM. Be like, I'm having a hard day. I'm just feeling lonely today. I'm feeling tuckered out, and we will likely feel the same way
It's
you
us.
do. It's us. We are you. So,
please do.
yes, please do. So from two moms who are just making it.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in today. And we will catch you on our next episode of Moms of the Lou. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks for listening to Moms of the Lou. We hope it encouraged you and put a pep in your step and helped you get to know our community a little bit better. Be sure to find us on Instagram, st.louis_mom. You can find us on Facebook, St. Louis Mom. You can find us on our website, www.stlouismom.com. In case nobody else tells you today, you're a great mom and you're doing a great job. Chat with you next time.